Some members of the human race and human communities are underprivileged, underrepresented, overworked, sometimes downtrodden, often abused, traded as barter objects, and voiceless in legislative spaces. In summary, have little or no human rights. To correct some of these injustices, offer more support and opportunities to these vulnerable parts of the human race. The Girl Child is internationally celebrated annually on the 11th of October, although some countries have added other days for this celebration. This same reason, the Girl Child Summit holds at the United Nations headquarters every year with the aim to bring together organizations that serve girls to further the advancement of their human rights. The girl child is a female under 18 years of age. Why again is the girl child considered so special? Now, the theme for this year is Skilled Girls Force. Now, this calls for celebration, and it underscores the importance of skills. It also aims at the empowerment of this group of human beings who, as women, are tremendously endowed but are underproductive because they were hitherto not empowered to contribute their full potentials, significant capabilities and competencies to human development. Now, moving forward, there is a school of thought that says there is the need for women to acquire more level of skills beyond formal education, which they can use to empower themselves. This will translate to some measure of financial and economic independence and guarantee quality of life for women and, of course, their children. And so today, that's the bridge we intend to build on this edition of Bridges, which is dedicated to the girl child, particularly the most vulnerable, wherever they are in Nigeria and, of course, Africa, and wherever you're watching us. So, welcome to Bridges. I'm Moji Makanjuola, and we are building a sustainable society that will move us forward and accelerate development. Quickly, I have here two women who have dedicated their lives to improve the lives of the girl child. First, I'll come to my friend and sister, Dr. Mairo Mandara. It's good to have you in the country and have you back. She, as it is, she's a founder and of this NGO called, quickly, let me look at it now, it's called Chairman and Founder of Girl Child Concern. And this has been on for how many years now, ma'am?
It's been on for nearly 19 years.
19 years.
Yes.
And I tell you, viewers, they're doing tremendously well. I'd like to introduce again Irene Uba, who is leading a foundation called Crestville Development. You're also welcome, and she's quite interested in girl education and empowerment. Thank you very much. And looking away from the mommy and the auntie, we have here our tomorrow and our today, as it were. Girls, some have traveled all the way from Kaduna to be on Bridges, and some are resident here in Abuja. Should I say ladies, you're all welcome on Bridges. Thank you for coming. Right, so quickly, auntie, now 19 years back you had to do this. Why did you have to do it? And do you agree with my introduction that we still have girls who are underprivileged and, you know, who still suffer the vulnerabilities that we mentioned earlier?
Absolutely, Moji. We started this 19 years ago because we realized that we're who we are because of the privilege we've had because of education. Nothing more, nothing less. So we saw a group of us, two women, actually myself and Haji Abdulkisi Yusuf, and a gentleman, may her soul rest in peace, came together and said that we're very, very privileged to have had an education and to be who we are. And therefore, the only gift or the most important gift we can give back to our communities is to ensure that every single girl we come across becomes like us. And for me personally, in addition to that, as an obstetrician gynecologist working at Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital Zaria, I discovered that a lot of the ailments that I see with women, particularly stuff like the psychovaginal fistula, VVF, prolonged labor, women dying as a result of pregnancy and childbirth, comes to a very one single denominator: poor education of the mother. once the mother is educated, all these things she takes care of. She makes sure her children are immunized. She makes sure she goes for antenatal. She makes sure that she feeds her children. So all this severe acute malnutrition we have, we wouldn't have. So for me, I just thought that while we treat one patient at a time, addressing the root cause of the problems we have lies in educating a girl. And so therefore I said, in addition to my doctor work, I'm going to just simply dedicate my life to ensuring that every single girl have an opportunity to have an education. Because actually, what is life without education? Absolutely no life.
Yes, I'm excited because I know that this last end of school, you were able to graduate a lot of your students. Well, you call them your children, about 100, really.
Yeah, we did this year graduated 75 girls, having been with us and completed secondary school, and happily all of them passed their ONYX, they passed their NECO, and they passed their JAM. Now 50% of those girls are actually the first set of escaped Chibok girls that we had in hiding. We wanted them out of the public space so that they could have an opportunity to live as children once more and continue to pick up where they left and grow. The other 25 as part of the just communal crisis. So those cohort were actually all children of crisis. Those were the ones whose houses were burned. Some of the brothers were also killed, and we took them and put them back to school. Luckily, they picked up their childhood and continued to work. And 4 of those, happily, I'm very happy to say, 4 of those graduates from that are currently in Notre Dame as undergraduate university students in the US.
In the US?
Yes.
In the US?
Yes, they are. Actually, one of the top league universities in the United States. Yes.
Fantastic. So that's Ivy League for them. Now, so they have a life because they have.
They do have a life.
Yeah. What has been your experience, Irene, working with the girl child?
Okay, for me personally, when you look at the statistics, Nigeria has been ranked as the 9th worst country to be a girl or to be a woman, and the reasons are not actually far-fetched. You're looking at a situation where girls are out of school. You're looking at a situation where even when girls are in school, they don't transit to junior secondary school. And then you're also looking at a situation where even the girls in school stay away during their periods because they do not have sanitary pads. I mean, when a term is like 3 months, 4 months, and every month you must, menstruation is a normal thing. You must have it every month. You're looking at all those situations. And then for me, as a child growing up, at some point my education was truncated. And when I look back now, I'm asking myself, if I didn't get this education, where would I be today? Would I be able to make the impact I'm making today? And that kind of triggered off what I'm doing right now. I'm actually an educationist. I have a school. But then, when you look at it, the reality is actually not with the sector of the private education. The reality is with the sector of the public education. And that is the major reality, because that's where the bulk of the population lies. So I told myself, not just advocating. Early this year, I actually spoke in Cambridge on factors militating against the girl-child education. And while I was speaking and they were asking me questions, at some point I asked myself, you send girls to school you just do it informally. Why don't you have something more formal? Get people, because some of these monies are not too much money. I just think that if you bring in this, you chip in that, and we all send these girls back to school. And that was how this Cresville Development Foundation was born. And we sent some girls back to school 2 weeks ago. And on the 11th, exactly the day of the girl child, we're going to be sending more back to school.
Fantastic. Well, we'll come to talk about some of the challenges that, we go through, that you see, using your lens, for the girls. But let's go back to this wonderful audience that I have. Now, girls, you're all welcome on bridges. And I can see that, are we going to build a bridge that the girl child will be proud to be part of Nigeria? Is that what we are going to build today? Fantastic. So let's hear your voice. What is it, especially? I'd like to start with my young Hadiza. Yes, you're Hadiza, right? Yes, Hadiza, you come from a background that having to leave Maiduguri and come to Kaduna to start school. What has been your experience, and what do you want to become?
Thank you. My name is Hadiza Oman. I came from Maiduguri to Kaduna State. I got a scholarship from organization GCC. there are many challenges that I face in Maiduguri, the incidents of the Boko Haram. That's why I'm lucky, I got a scholarship to study in Kaduna State. Most of the girls in Maiduguri, some are studying, while some, you will see some are hawking, and the cases of early marriage, and so on and so forth. I actually want to become a doctor, midwifery doctor, to help those with less privilege and those that are affected by the Boko Haram. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's a good ambition. So you've mentored a doctor in the yes. Okay, let's hear from you.
My name is Agamesi, and I want to be a software engineer in future.
Yeah. Are you happy with the other girls that you see that are not in school? What's your concern?
I'm very concerned because they are suffering and they don't have the privilege I have. So I wish and I hope that in one way or the other we'll put hands together to empower the girls so that they'll have education just like us. Yeah.
You want the whole world to come together. Well, let's start from Nigeria. So if you're watching, that's the wish of these girls, to be in school and to have their peers be also educated. Yes, let's hear from you. She came all the way from Kaduna. Thank you.
My name is Bintu Arima. I came from Maiduguri. I got scholarship from GCC, and also I want to be a pharmacy doctor because you have shortage of drugs in Nigeria, and also some of the pharmacy are male. That's why I want to become a
female pharmacist.
Yes.
Fantastic. Right. Okay. Ambitions here rolling out. Let's hear from the back as well.
I am Nedo Chaya Okoli. I'm 14 years old and I'm in SS3. I want to become a medical doctor because I believe it's the kind of job that will create opportunities to other people. I believe of empowering other people. And then the girls on the street make me sad because they don't have the privilege of education that I do, and most of them, it's not their fault. Because of poverty or because of maybe religion, they marry too early, or several occurrences like that. And I feel sad that other girls are not allowed to have education. And also in some families, the boys have education while the girls don't, because they believe that girls don't need education, which is so untrue. Because as girls, we need to have education so we can further ourselves, we can become something on our own without having to depend on our fathers or brothers or our husbands.
Thank you. That's a good one.
No.
Yes. Well, I need to have a special introduction for her, and I just want you to let us share, share a bit of your world so that you will encourage people out there. Yes.
Okay, my name is Aisha Abdullah Indanusa, and I am a staff of Girl Child Concerns. I came as a supervisor for 2 girls, and then I'm also a student, a beneficiary of Girl Child Concerns. So what I do in Girl Child Concerns is I'm a mentor. I mentor these girls, but through that I was also inspired, and then I spoke to my head, and I told her that if I could get a scholarship to go back to school, that would be amazing, because the feeling of getting an education is something else. It's overwhelming. So I want that experience again, to go back and get my master's degree. And what we do as mentors in Girl Child Concerns is we empower girls through a curriculum. We teach them life skills. We teach them reproductive health, sexual reproductive health and its rights, so that they get empowered themselves. And when they later go back home, because as they told you, they came far away from Maiduguri. So when they go back, we want them to have something that they can give back to their communities as well.
Yeah. What challenges do you see that young girls have in acquiring education? Is it just poverty, or somebody says, talking about religion and maybe tradition? What would you want? What kind of environment would you think would be conducive for girl child to enjoy education?
An environment where girls are welcome everywhere they go, not just the men, because these harmful beliefs that we have, especially in the north, that the boys are or the guys are the ones that should have all the privileges because they head the family, but that's not true. when a girl is educated, everything is it becomes less stressful, even for the guys. So when you educate the woman, she knows how to take care of herself when she's pregnant. She knows how to when she's about to give birth. Child nutrition is not going to be an option when she's about to give birth. So it's less.
Yes. So we all agree here that it's important for the girl child to get educated.
Yes.
Well, what of those that are unfortunate? You know, they don't have the formal education.
Yes.
Can they acquire skills, you know, which they can use to empower themselves?
Yes.
What's your feeling with this?
Yes, they can acquire skills. They can have life skills to prompt their ways of life. You don't really have to. Going to school is a plus because you learn literacy, numeracy, and other things. But life skills is more. It's more important than anything because it teaches you how to lead your life as a whole. Your children, your husband, your own family, father,
Your society,
your community in general.
Thank you. Right. Yes.
My name is Ada Kujike, and I want to become a medical doctor. The female should be educated because if they're educated, they'll be able to, you know, help their society. Because there's an African proverb which says, educate a boy and educate only one person. But if you educate a girl, you educate both the family and a nation.
Yeah.
So if females are educated, then you'll be able to liberate their world and be able to liberate their nation.
Thank you. So we have Auntie here who is also a mentor. Now, what would you advocate? We are looking at skills for the girl child. We're looking at an environment where if you have more women educated, we say it will make Nigeria greater and better.
Of course.
You agree with this?
Of course.
Okay, so let's share your experience.
I am Anyasi Benita. I'm a teacher and also a mentor to these young ladies. I would really advocate skill acquisition for these girls. I don't know, you see so many girls on the street. You see so many girls, even when most of them are less privileged. I don't know if there is a way we all can put the hands must be on deck. We must all come together to equip these girls, teach them skills, empower them one way or the other. Even some that can't school. Yes, most of them that can't school, we can teach them all those little skills: how to sew, how to make hairs, how to how to bake, and how to decorate. There are just a whole lot you can do for the girl child. And I hope to have an NGO tomorrow that yes, that looks after these young girls, that picks them up from the streets and then empowers them, takes them through classes, teach them, and give them beneficial life skills that will help them tomorrow. I don't know why some ladies I speak to, most times they think if you get married you're okay. Like, no, you need to be empowered. You need to give something for to your children. When you give birth, we are potential mothers, and I hope that you don't be a dummy mommy tomorrow. We ought to equip ourselves very well, and so we can train a nation, so we can have a better tomorrow in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, let's hear from you.
My name is Marinike Oke. I want to be a robotics engineer when I grow up.
Fantastic. Good.
And the girl child, she has to be educated, because if a girl child is not properly educated, when she marries, when she has children, she will not know how to take care of her children. And in some schools, when a girl tells you, like maybe for example like me, I wanted to become a forensic chemist before, and some people are telling me, you're a girl, what can you do being a forensic chemist? Because people that deal with crime, they are mostly males, and we risk ourselves. And I'm like, if I'm properly educated about what I want to be, I'll be able to do better than the boys that are forensic chemists. So a girl needs to be educated so as to know what to do in life, and when situations come to her, she'll know how to solve it, and when she has opportunities, she'll know how to handle them.
Yeah, I just want to bring us back to the theme, which is it says that skilled girl force. So beyond education, we should be skilled.
Yeah.
Because we find out, because we find out that a lot of us, all we depend on is, even after education, it's getting an office job. And that's not selling anymore.
No, it's not.
I mean, we don't have enough vacancies that will take, for example, everyone here is a graduate. We don't, I mean, NTA here cannot absorb them. So let's speak to skills. Where did we lose it? Because growing up for us, I mean, we learned some certain things that have helped us along the way. I go to Mairo's house. She makes the best masa in the whole universe, which I've eaten. And because she apart from the fact that she knows it herself, she has learned, she's taught other people, mentored other people to do it, and they're using that to make money today. So how do we enforce skills in the education of today's world? I'll still throw it back to both of you. And I hope my daughters, you all love what you're hearing from the aunties. And if you want to ask any question, you can ask. Okay.
For me, I think there are two folds. One in the layout of our curriculum in school. There was a time when the education curriculum started, the 6-3-3-4. I thought that was a golden opportunity because in junior secondary school, children learned craft. Children learned skills. Even though I have issues with the skills that girls are taught, I don't believe girls should learn how to knit. I don't believe girls should learn how to sew. I believe girls should learn how to be computer engineers and how to be auto mechanics and whatever they choose to be. So that's one. We need to go back and be truthful to our curriculum in schools and make sure every single girl in junior secondary school has an opportunity to learn a skill, so that as she grows, as she goes on, and every child, including male, they can also branch off and have skills. And then secondly is at home. I think at home we have a very wrong notion of education. I have a daughter who is 14. She started learning how to make jewelry when she was 9. By the age of 11, she was running exhibitions of jewelry, and she was making jewelries and was selling stuff over 100,000 at a time. She was 11, and it's her money. And she does it with her brother. Her brother and her make jewelry. So it's at home. At home, for us parents, we need to stop seeing education as a white-collar thing, that somebody will employ you. For all the years that I was a resident doctor, training to be a gynecologist, I was selling jewelry, I was selling plastics in microwave, for microwave. At one time, my husband has to say, slow down, before you start selling potties. Because my home was full of things I sell. You have to make ends meet yourself. And this comes from how we teach our children. We have to stop teaching our children to be dependent. We have to start teaching our children to be creative. But in the north, where I come from, the problem is even double. We think if we send a girl to school, she's in Form 3, that she's now important. She doesn't even help the mother with washing. She can only cook Indomie. These are all bad traits. This was not how we grew up. And I think as parents, we have to think twice. We have to take responsibilities. In GCC camps, we run annual camps for the girls on our scholarship because they cannot go back to Maiduguri because of the crisis. We keep them together. During camps, they make their soap to go back to school. They make their washing liquid. They make their pomade. But importantly, they compete cooking. So we see which house is the best cook.
Is the best cook.
We need to have creative ways of helping children to build the skills.
As an educationist, first of all, I work in the school, and I know that the school curriculum has tremendously changed. If you look at the curriculum that was handed over to us by the British, you find out that there were skill acquisition. It was part of the subjects they did. But now we have successfully removed it. So you see what the schools are trying to do now is we are trying to find a balance, because they have given you something to teach that has nothing to do with the child learning things with her hand. So as a school now, you're thinking outside the box. Where do I fix in these things? So that the child is actually balanced, because the jobs are not out there. Then as a mother, because I also teach women, I felt them. You see, there's a problem we have, and which she mentioned. Because you didn't go to school, you fry akara. Now your daughter, because she's going to school, the next thing is, I don't want her to suffer the way I suffered. She should not learn how to do that. That is a wrong notion. I mean, if she learns how to fry that akara, cook that moi moi you're doing, and add an education to it. I'm telling you, don't know where she will go to with that. You know, I do cooking. In fact, before I got into school fully, I was a caterer. I cooked, and it was just something, I didn't do any formal training. My mom was doing that, and we were all doing it with her. So my brothers bake, I cook, I do this, I do that. You know, so I tell
skills
mothers,
acquisition
from the home,
yes,
from the home. Let
the
your
home.
children do what you're doing.
Now, but just before we go, do you agree that you need skills? Quickly, let's go around quickly. What can you do?
I can bake cake.
You can bake cake.
Yes.
So that's Master Baker that we're watching. Yes. Any of you want to share with us what you can do quickly? Okay. We have one hand here. Yes.
Okay. I bake and I make beads too.
Okay. You make beads too. Yes. Let's hear from you.
I can cook, bake, and make jewelries.
Oh, and make jewelries. Well, okay, I might have to start patronizing some of you because if I buy it today, like my dog. Yes,
I'm into packaging. I package products.
You package products.
Yeah, I personally package kuli kuli. This local snack.
Yes,
and I
fantastic. And these things are economically viable.
Yeah.
So what we are saying here, and we all agreed, is that girls need, besides education, to also acquire skills. And moving forward, that's the only way we can contribute to the economy of this country. I want to thank you girls for sharing your time with me, particularly those of you who came from Kaduna. I pray that God will take you back safely, and we'll continue to monitor you. Are you going to be a part of the bridges in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Do I have your nod? Yes? Fantastic. So we are going to build a bigger, stronger, and economically viable Nigeria. I want to thank you very much, Irene, for your time and your experience that you've shared. And of course, Dr. Mairo Mandara, thank you very much. I know that you have to travel out, but you're here with us. And that's the spirit that together we can build a better society and live in a more conducive environment where our girls can reach their potentials. Thanks for watching. Bridges to the Back, same time next week.